All right, let's get right into it. So what happens when a pretty vocal critic of the National Association of Realtors actually gets an invite to their headquarters? He went in skeptical, for sure, and what he found, well, it just might change how you see one of the biggest, most powerful organizations in the real estate industry.
So the guy we're talking about is Daryl Davis, and as he says himself, he's known for speaking his mind. And yeah, it hasn't always been super positive when it comes to NAR. This is not a fanboy talking. This is someone who, probably like a lot of you, has had some serious questions. And he frames the whole problem with this just brilliant metaphor. He says most of us are judging NAR from a mile away. You know, like we're squinting at a house from down the street, maybe even wearing sunglasses, thinking we've got the whole picture. But we're missing what's actually happening inside.
So what did he do? He walked right up and went inside the house. He took them up on the offer to meet with the new CEO, Nykia Wright, and her whole team. The big question was, would the reality on the ground match up with the perception from the outside? What did he actually find? And this is what he found. And it's pretty surprising. See, he didn't just talk to the executives in the corner offices. He went and found a regular employee, someone, as he put it, 20 rungs down the ladder with no agenda. And he just asked them straight up. Their feedback on the new CEO? It points to this huge culture shift, and it's happening from the very top. And wow, this really spells out the change. The employee talked about how it used to feel, this vibe of animosity, where leadership felt disconnected, like they weren't pulling their weight. And now, the feeling is joy. It's driven by a CEO who everyone sees as the hardest working person in the entire building. I mean, that is a complete 180. Okay, but let's be real here. NAR is massive. It's one of the largest trade associations in the country. And that brings us to the second big metaphor here. You can't turn an ocean liner on a dime. Expecting this huge organization to change overnight just isn't realistic. I mean, think about it like this, right? When a cruise ship needs to turn, the captain makes that decision hours ahead of time. The first moves are these little adjustments, totally invisible to anyone watching from the shore. It's only later that you see the massive ship start to slowly, deliberately change its entire direction. That's what change looks like at NAR. So here's the crucial takeaway. Based on his visit, Davis is convinced that the new leadership has already turned the wheel. The ship is beginning its slow turn. We can't see the full effect yet, but the command has been given and the change is in motion. But, this culture shift is only one piece of the puzzle. The visit also uncovered some surprising stuff about what member dues are actually paying for, and it challenges that old idea that it's all just about getting access to the MLS. And this is a biggie. Turns out there's this whole world of advocacy going on behind the scenes. We're talking about crucial protections being fought for in Washington, D.C., legislation being influenced to help agents, and a constant defense of the industry's interests. It's all this quiet, unglamorous work that directly benefits your business, but it often goes completely unnoticed. And that just begs the question, right? If all this great work is happening, why don't members know about it? This is where Davis says, look, NAR has a huge ongoing problem. They have a communication problem. All their important wins are getting lost in the flood of emails, buried between the inbox and the delete button. Now, this is a really, really important point. Coming away from this visit feeling hopeful doesn't mean he's giving NAR a free pass. He's not going soft, not at all. Instead, he's suggesting a shift in how we as members should hold the organization accountable. And to prove he's not letting up, he points out the serious issues he's still going to challenge them on. He's still got his eye on things like those ridiculously high salaries for so-called volunteer positions and that whole controversial Zillow deal. So yeah, the scrutiny is definitely not going away. What's changing is the kind of scrutiny. He calls it constructive accountability. It's about being critical, sure, but doing it from a place where you genuinely want to make the organization better for everyone. It's the kind of feedback that actually gets heard, because it's about fixing things, not just pointing fingers. And when you put the two side by side, the difference is huge. One approach actually serves the industry and tries to build it up. The other, it just makes noise and tears things down. It's really a choice between being a partner in making things better, or just being a critic on the sidelines who eventually gets ignored. At the end of the day, this is what it all comes down to. No person, no organization is perfect. NAR has stumbled, it's made some serious mistakes. But the real test is what happens next. And what Davis saw convinced him that the hard work of rebuilding that trust is finally actually happening. So we're left with this challenge. which brings that whole metaphor full circle. The question isn't just about whether NAR can change. The real question is for us. As members, are we willing to take off the sunglasses, put down our assumptions for a minute, and accept that maybe, just maybe, the view from a mile away isn't the whole story?